Ever found yourself staring at your bank balance, wondering where all those pennies went? You know, the ones that vanish after you buy your morning coffee, grab a quick lunch, or just generally live your life. What if I told you there's a super simple, almost invisible way to squirrel away those stray coins, turning them into a tidy little savings pot without you even noticing? It's not magic, it's not some complex financial wizardry. It's a feature, often overlooked, nestled right within your Monzo app, Roundups. And in this video, we're going to dive deep into how Monzo Roundups work, why they're such a brilliant tool for everyday saving, and how you can set them up in minutes to start building your savings habit effortlessly. Forget those grand resolutions about putting hundreds away each month. Monzo Roundups are all about the micro savings that add up to macro results. So, imagine this, you spend £3.60 on a coffee. Monzo automatically rounds that up to £4, and the extra 40p gets tucked away into a designated savings pot. You buy groceries for £27.15, Monzo rounds it to £28, and 85p goes into your savings. See the pattern? It's literally saving without feeling like saving. It's like having a little financial assistant constantly sweeping up the loose change from your transactions and depositing it into your future. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty of setting it up, let's briefly set the stage for why this seemingly small feature can make such a big difference. Traditional saving often feels like a chore. You have to consciously decide to transfer money, you might feel the pinch, and if your willpower is flagging, that transfer might just never happen. Roundups, on the other hand, leverage behavioral economics. They capitalize on the small, almost imperceptible amounts that wouldn't typically be missed. It's the financial equivalent of finding a few extra coins in your pocket. You wouldn't plan your budget around them, but when they appear, it's a nice bonus. With Roundups, that bonus is consistently delivered to your savings. This method is particularly powerful for those who struggle with consistent saving. It removes the friction. There's no big decision to make, no significant sum to commit. It's automated, continuous, and the amounts are so small that they rarely impact your immediate spending power. Yet, over weeks and months, these small amounts accumulate into surprisingly substantial sums. Think about it. If you make 10 transactions a day with an average roundup of 50p, that's £5 a day, or £35 a week, which quickly becomes £140 a month. That's £1,680 in a year, just from spare change. Imagine what you could do with that extra money: contribute to an emergency fund, save for a holiday, pay off a small debt, or even invest. Now, let's get down to the practicalities. How do you actually get this magical saving machine running in your Monzo app? It's incredibly straightforward. First things first, you'll need a Monzo account. If you don't have one, downloading the app and setting up an account is a seamless process. Once you're in, you'll notice that Monzo is designed to be intuitive, and finding the Roundups feature is no exception. The key to Roundups and Monzo lies in pots. If you're new to Monzo, pots are essentially sub-accounts within your main Monzo account, designed to help you organize your money for different purposes. Think of them as digital envelopes for your cash. You can create pots for anything: your rent, a holiday fund, a new gadget, or just a general savings pot. Roundups must be linked to a pot. This is where your spare change will accumulate. So, step 1 is to create a pot specifically for your Roundups. To do this, open your Monzo app. On the home screen, you'll see your main account balance. Scroll down a little, and you'll typically see a section for pots or a button to add a pot. Tap on that. You'll then be presented with options for different types of pots. You can choose a standard pot, which is a simple savings pot. If you want to earn interest on your Roundups, and Monzo offers an interest-bearing savings account at the time, you might also have the option to create a savings pot powered by a partner bank. For the purpose of Roundups, either will work, but if interest is a motivator, check for the savings pot option. Give your pot a clear name, something like Roundup Savings, Spare Change Fund, or Holiday Fund if you have a specific goal in mind. This helps keep you motivated and organized. Once you've created your pot, you'll be taken to its dedicated screen. Here's where the magic happens. On this pot screen, you should see an option related to roundups or save as you spend. Tap on this option. Monzo will then give you a brief explanation of how roundups work. It will confirm that you want to enable roundups to this specific pot. You will usually see a toggle switch or a button to turn on roundups. Simply tap it to activate the feature. And that's it. Seriously, it's that simple. From this moment onwards, every time you make a purchase using your Monzo card, whether it's online, in a shop, or using Google Pay or Apple Pay, Monzo will automatically round up the transaction to the nearest whole pound and transfer the difference into your designated roundup pot. Now, let's talk about some nuances and frequently asked questions to ensure you get the most out of this feature. What kind of transactions trigger roundups? Generally, most debit card transactions made with your Monzo card will trigger a roundup. This includes point-of-sale purchases, online shopping, and even ATM withdrawals if they are below a whole pound, though most ATM withdrawals are typically whole amounts. Direct debits, standing orders, and bank transfers usually do not trigger roundups, as they are not card transactions. What happens if I don't have enough money for the roundup? Monzo is smart. If your main account balance doesn't have enough funds to cover the roundup at the time of the transaction, it won't be completed. The roundup will simply not happen for that specific transaction. It won't put your main account into an overdraft just for a roundup. However, it's worth noting that Monzo typically attempts the roundup at the time of the transaction, or shortly thereafter once the transaction settles. Can I pause or disable roundups? Absolutely. Flexibility is a key feature of Monzo. If you need to temporarily stop roundups, perhaps because you're on a tight budget for a particular month, you can easily do so. Just go back into the specific pot that has roundups enabled, and you'll find the toggle switch to turn it off. You can re-enable it just as easily whenever you're ready to start saving again. Can I link roundups to multiple pots? No, you can only link roundups to one pot at a time. If you try to enable roundups on a different pot, Monzo will typically ask if you want to move the roundup functionality from your current pot to the new one. This ensures that your roundups are consolidated in one place, making it easier to track your progress and avoid spreading your savings too thinly. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.